Hello, we're back again. I am Shiraz. This is Rewriting Reality, and we've got an amazing guest coming up today. It's been quite the eventful month for me. Uh, I've got a new program coming out that's $100,000 to be in, and people are buying it. So I'm liking where reality is going for me, and I'm hearing some amazing things coming out from a lot of my clients. So I am really looking forward to the rest of the summer and what's showing up. And I see our guest is sort of here. So her camera is turned. Oh, there's the camera's gone back on. So let's let's bring on. So Ali Turner is a business mentor and a leadership activator for women who know they're meant for more wealth, more success, more impact, more freedom. She's the founder of Infinite Woman, an impact driven online coaching company, and Sattva.io, an all in one business growth platform for entrepreneurs and home of the Profit to Purpose Accelerator. As a certified meditation instructor, business owner, and sought after coach, Ali unifies her understanding of human consciousness with her experience in business. So, welcome, Ali. How you doing?
Good. How are you? It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thanks for
So,
having me.
oh, no problem. Yeah, I mean, just reading your bio. It's just like, yeah, this woman needs to be on the show.
I love that. Thank you.
So and yeah, I knew you needed to be on the show before I read the bio, but I love when I have guests on and then I start reading the bio. So I'm like, wait, what? Holy crap! So,
It's a great feeling.
yeah. So for our audience, tell us like a little more detail what you do and how you got into it, why it's so important to you.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. So, my story is somewhat unique, but also probably familiar to a lot of entrepreneurs. I started my first business straight out of college because I knew I didn't want to work for anybody else. I wanted to work independently, run my own show, build my own schedule, and really just have the freedom that came with entrepreneurship. So, my first business was an agency, and we were doing digital marketing, social media management, lead generation for mostly local service based businesses. So, brick and mortar, home services primarily, I would say. And then we branched into some health and wellness as well. And that was a ton of fun. It was very fast paced. It threw me in the deep end of business ownership, business management, business growth, and we scaled very quickly. We scaled to multiple six figures within our first year. And that was a very intense time in my life because I was brand new to entrepreneurship. I had started something that grew so fast. And I got to a point in the business where the business was successful, as I like to say, but I didn't feel successful,
Mm.
right? It's like I always say that to people. It's like I knew the business was successful in a traditional sense, but inside I didn't feel successful, is kind of the best way to put it. And the reason for that was, after a lot of soul searching, I realized the reason was that I wasn't in alignment with what I really wanted to be doing. I was working really hard. I was burning myself out. I was doing a lot that I didn't need to be doing, that I could be delegating or automating or systemizing. And I loved our clients, but I didn't love the way that I was approaching the business. So I knew I needed to make a change. And that was really the big turning point for me. I completely pivoted the business model. I sold off a portion of the company and I transitioned into what is now Sattva.io, which is a holistic business growth platform for entrepreneurs and business owners. So rather than providing a ton of done for you services, running people's ads for them, generating the leads, booking the appointments, managing their entire business and client acquisition system from start to finish, now we put the tools back in the hands of the business owners who really need that direct control and power over their destiny, and who want the insights and the knowledge of what's really happening in their business. Because of course, when I made that decision, I was feeling like, oh my gosh, is everybody going to be so upset? Are they going to be annoyed that we're letting go of our done for you model? Are they going to feel just overwhelmed by the prospect of having to do more of that in house? But we had a really nice transition, and it turned out that everybody actually wanted that level of control and insight into their growth.
Hmm.
And they wanted to learn how to do the things that we'd been doing for them for all those years. So it was a really powerful really awakening for me to realize that what I was afraid our clients would hate turned out to be exactly what they desired and hadn't yet asked for. So it was perfect. It was a huge transition and best decision I made in my business thus far. So now I run Satva. We built our team, we've built our client base. In fact, just in the last 90 days, we've doubled our client base, which has been amazing. We have so many incredible people entering our world. I'm just so impressed by the caliber of clients that are entering into our space and really building a scalable, sustainable business model through our platform, which just feels so good and so relieving for all of the business owners that we work with. And that's how I got started in coaching, right? Because I realized there's so many things I wish I knew when I started my business. And I'd love to give other people the tools and the resources and the strategies that I wish I had had. And, I can help other people avoid the same kind of ups and downs and roller coaster ride that I went through if I can give them those tools and resources.
It's amazing how once we get to that certain level of success, we're like, how come no one told me this? How come no one told me this? and the information's out there. Now you're like, I don't want people to go through what I went through. So,
exactly.
Okay. And I'm very curious, what does Satva stand for, or does it stand for anything?
Great question. Actually, I love that you asked that because a lot of people wonder if it's like an acronym or if it means something. It comes from Sanskrit, and it's the Sanskrit word to describe essentially the creative element of life. So in the Vedic tradition in India, there are 3 modes of existence, essentially. Basically, creation, and then maintenance, and then destruction. And that forms a cycle, the cycle of life, kind of like day and night, summer and winter, creation and destruction. But of course, there's the maintenance between. And so those are called the 3 gunas, or 3 modes of existence. And sattva is the creative mode, right? The creation element of existence.
Nice.
Yeah, it feels like it connects really well to the idea of come into our platform and create the business you love, right? Create anything that you want and build that business that you've been dreaming about.
So do you find that because of your philosophy, even the way you've named your business, that you're getting more of a spiritual clientele?
Good question. Actually, no, but not exclusively. I do feel we work with a wide range of individuals and really a variety of niches, mostly in the online space. I would say our sweet spot is going to be like coaches, consultants, and online service providers, some of whom would fall into a sort of spiritual, or I guess you could say metaphysical category, and some of whom don't. So I would say, we're welcoming of everyone, but maybe it does attract some people in that realm potentially as well.
Well, it's even like in your bio, Ali unifies her understanding of human consciousness with her experience in business. And I guess my business is more directly more to that spiritual side, that I get those clients, but just from the energy of who you are, I would think you would attract more of those kinds of people, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think that we probably do. Being a certified meditation teacher, I've realized how important personal growth is to business growth. I think that's one of the biggest things I had to accept early on in my journey, because I always saw the 2 aspects of my life as completely different, right? I had my spiritual path, and then I had my path as an entrepreneur. And I saw them as almost not just different, but almost opposite forces in my life. And once I unified them and brought them together and realized that one drives the other and vice versa, I found that my business grew a lot faster and I was more fulfilled in the business at the same time. It wasn't, they weren't kind of at war with each other anymore. And I found that actually the more time I devoted to my meditation, my spiritual practice, the more energy and efficiency and focus and productivity I had in my work. And also, most importantly, the more enjoyment I found in my work as well, because I was living from a place of like peace and contentment inside, rather than trying to fill a gap or something through my life in the relative.
Got it. So since you've put this into place and you've been like doubling your business in 90 days, that's incredible. Do you have any particular clients that you're most proud of that I've started to work with, and you like look at the results and go, wow?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We have a client we've been working with for let's see, a little over a year now, maybe almost actually probably coming up on a year and a half. And they have scaled immensely with our platform. They were overpaying for softwares left and right. In fact, they were spending thousands and thousands of dollars every month on their software because their team was growing so quickly, and most of the softwares they were using charged per user. So every time they hired a new VA, a new OBM, a new client success manager, their costs went up. And that was getting to be really stressful for them. They're using our platform. They're on one of our higher level plans, so they're paying a little over $200 a month. But that's
wait. $200 a month is your higher level plan?
Yes. Yeah. So we have
like a lower level plan on.
I know, you would think so. Yeah. We make our platform super accessible. We don't price gatekeep. We don't like hold back any features or charge per user. They're not on our highest. Basically, our plans are 111, 222, and 333. So they're right in the middle there, and they'll probably advance into our 333 as soon as they're ready to launch their ads. But they've been scaling so quickly organically. They did, since the start of the year, I know that they have done 8 figures. Probably by now they're approaching more, but at this point, yeah, they did 8 figures in the first 4 or 5 months of the year. And we were really impressed with them. They were very, very successful, a huge boost in sales. They hired a couple more sales reps actually, and just very, very holistic company, very, I would say, team-oriented, culture-oriented. They're a family-owned business, and they've done super well. And we worked closely with them all of last year. They were in one of our higher level consulting programs, actually, where we custom built their business system inside of the platform. So they were completely set up for success. They had everything down to a T, and they've just been doing so well and training all their new team members on how to use that system for the most scalability.
Okay, cool. All right, I want you to get a little bit vulnerable with me right now. What is one of the biggest mistakes you've made? How did you recover from it, and what you learned from it?
Biggest mistakes. I like this one. I would say in my entrepreneurial journey, I would say the biggest mistake I made was trying to make guarantees that I couldn't hold on to, that I couldn't promise, making promises I couldn't keep, because I think a lot of times people feel that they need to promise certain things in order to get people to buy from them, buy their package, buy their program, buy their service, and essentially say, and we don't get paid unless you achieve this.
Yeah. And
I think that can be effective in some cases. But I would say early in my entrepreneurial journey, I was making a promise that I couldn't guarantee I'd keep, and because they were involved in it. And when you try to guarantee that somebody's going to get results from something that they actually have to participate in and do, you can't control other people's actions. And I think that's the mistake most people make, is they make guarantees or promises in their programs that rely on the other person taking action. They rely on the client actually performing at a certain level themselves, and ultimately, there are no guarantees in life. We can't control other people's actions, choices, behaviors, thinking processes, or decisions. And therefore, we can't make guarantees on what they will or won't do. And so that's been a really big thing for me moving forward in my path as an entrepreneur, is to realize, okay, what can I do to give 110%, 200% my best to this client, to this program? But what is required of them as well, right? What is actually required for them to get the results that they're looking for, and therefore achieve the outcome that they desire, without me promising them that they're going to get it when I can't control whether or not they actually do the work.
Okay. I like that. Because there's been clients I know that I've worked with that every time we meet, did you do this? No, I didn't.
Exactly.
I don't know what to do at this point.
Right.
Okay. So very valuable lesson. So we are going to start the coaching segment of our show. And this is where I get coached by Allie in her area of expertise, and she gets to choose what she wants to coach me on. And we'll see how that works out. When we're finished that, we're going to flip it around, and I'm going to do some energetic magic on Allie. I don't know if she's had time to see what that looks like, or it's just going to be like, oh shoot, this is what's happening now. but we'll see. Awesome. So what are we starting with then?
So I coach you first.
You coach me first.
What would you say is your biggest goal for the rest of the year?
My biggest goal is my $1 Million Impact Makers program. It launches in September. I want 10 people in that program. And I have 2 signed up. I'm pretty sure I'll have a third by the end of the month. So I still have 7 to go by September. So getting that up and going, it's the biggest endeavor I've done. I'm really looking forward to it. As I'm moving along with it, the partners and the process and everything all just starting to fall into place to make sure people get the results they want, which is going from 6-figure inconsistent income position to 7-figure consistent within 3 years or less.
Awesome. Wow. That's really cool. And can I ask how you conceived of this program? Like what's the story behind it?
So I was actually with one of my coaches. I was looking for a way to boost my business. I doubled my income last year, and I was looking to at least double it again this year. And I went into that program, and it was called 6-figure speaker collaboration. So it was about a way to add 6 figures to your income. So I figured, okay, if I add 6 figures there, that's one of the components to help me get to the next level. But my coach said, are you okay offering a $25,000 program? I said, yeah, I've already got a $20,000. That's not a big stretch. He goes, oh, okay, if it's not a big stretch, are you willing to do a $100,000 program? I'm like, oh, that feels like a big stretch. So we had to come up with what that would look like, how I could have implemented, how I can show people that they'll definitely get results. And then I created that program.
Wow. Really cool. And what type of client are you looking to bring into this program?
So it's women coaches that are around the $100,000 mark, maybe a little less, maybe up to 200,000. But it's the yo-yo income, right? So you got a $15,000 a month, and then you got a $3,000 a month. And you're looking for that consistent income. You're probably still doing tasks you don't want to do. You know what that feels like. I know what that feels like. and you may be having clients that you're not looking forward to every day. You may be losing a bit of passion in your business. Though there's a lot of people I found in that spot, and basically taking them and getting them to consistent income every month, getting them to 7 figures over 3 years.
Okay, solid. Awesome. And how are you bringing people into the program currently? Like where are you finding clients for it?
Currently, it's been completely through referral. There are events I've been at where I'm speaking and said, this is the program I'm working on, book something. But most of it has been people that I know that say, oh, I know exactly the person you need to talk to. And then we have the conversation. Now, there have been a few people, like quite a few people that have come up. I don't want to say it's a problem with filling the program. The methodology of filling this program is I want 100% of the right fit clients. So there's often times where there's someone that technically qualifies to be in the program, but I'm like, you're not going to be a right fit. You're going to either not get the work done, or you're going to be disruptive to the other people. And so it's a very, very vetted process in getting people in the program. That's been the big challenge now, or else I would have had it filled already. But I want everyone to succeed, and I want everyone to be happy for the next 3 years.
Solid. Okay, awesome. And so you've been getting mostly referrals. Anything through social media? What are you doing in terms of social media marketing or sales strategy?
So I guess this thing, I've put the social media announcement out probably a month and a half ago, but then I just haven't followed up on that. Like anyone that replied, I followed up, but I haven't done any other posts.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, my best advice to you, because you've got basically 7 or 8 more spots to fill, I would start showing up online in a really big way. This is a big program. I would show up online in a much bigger way. Referrals are great because you have that trust pre-built. You basically know each other through a friend or a partner, and you can probably trust that they're going to be a good candidate. But you want to get this out to a wider audience, right? You want to get this out. Let's say you want 8 more people, you probably need to be talking to at least, I'd say 80 people, right? If not more. So I would look at what can you do on Facebook? What can you do on Instagram? What platforms are you active on currently?
I'm on Facebook mostly. I am now starting to become more active on Instagram, and I'm starting a TikTok account this week as well. So I'm moving more into the 1 minute video format. So coming up with a nugget of wisdom once, twice a week, throwing it up in the 1 minute video format, and it's getting a lot of traction on Instagram, especially. So
Awesome. Yeah, that's great because obviously Reels and then TikTok videos can go viral and you can get in front of a wide audience there. Um, and video, I would bet video is really strong for you because of the way you show up. You're a speaker, you're very like present when you come on video. I would say that's a really great way for you to show up. Have you done anything with Facebook groups out of curiosity?
I have a couple Facebook groups, but they're very specific. Like one is for people that have gone through my energetic magic course to learn to do what I do, and the other is for my ongoing program. It's called Monthly Magic. It's a ongoing coaching program. So there's that group, but I don't have just a general Facebook group.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking one way that you could essentially promote this is you could bring people in from other people's Facebook groups.
Hmm.
Obviously, especially with like female coaches, if you're working with female coaches, there's tons and tons of groups out there with thousands, tens of thousands of people that are looking for your type of service. I would go into those groups and, you know, show them what they want, right? Like speak to results you've achieved or your clients have achieved and invite them into your world in some way, right? So promote something, promote a free training, promote a freebie. You can generate, I mean, I'll show up in a Facebook group, post something pretty simple, and within a few days, there's like 300, 400, 500 comments on a single post. And then I can just drive all of those leads into, let's say, a free training, to a freebie, a lead magnet of some sort, to my email list, of course, through either of those. And it's a really great way to grow your audience, get visible in a larger group of people, right? Up to like 100,000 people in one group, and have a wider pool to work from. And then from there, like, let's say you invite 5 people, 10 people out of that group to a sales call, right? And don't call it a sales call, obviously, but say,
Yeah.
hey, you know, who wants a clarity call? Who wants an energetic magic call, right? Give it a cool name, give them a free consultation, give them value in 30 minutes, and then tell them about your program. Because at that point, if you give them enough value, they're going to be curious. They're going to say, how do I work with you? What are next steps?
Oh, I like that. My concern is showing up and giving value, not looking like I'm trying to just siphon off your group members into my program.
Yeah, no, a lot of these groups are like completely promo friendly. I mean, some of them are pay to play where you can pay for a membership and then you can promote as much as you want. But most of these spaces are networking, community, and self promotion. It's like get visible in front of your ideal client. So you'll see it all the time, you know, especially, I don't know, it seems to be an interesting thing. I've noticed that, like, I guess men or male based like entrepreneurship groups are not the same way.
Mhm.
Amongst the female entrepreneurship groups, it's very collaborative and supportive. It's like, hey, show up, sell your stuff, promote your stuff, get leads in my group. Like, people want to support each other in that way
Okay.
all the time, all day long. People are like, hey, my client just did 12K in an hour. Who wants to come to my free training to learn exactly how she did it? Right? Like, anything like that does really, really well. You get people into your world way more quickly, and you're able to give more value because you can't, it's hard to show up and give value to complete strangers inside of somebody else's Facebook group, but you
Mhm.
can invite them into your world from that Facebook group, bring them into your own Facebook group, your own email list, a Zoom training, whatever the case may be, and give them more value, nurture them from there once they're actually a part of your world some way in your audience, whether that's email, group, Instagram, Zoom, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I would
So
consider it. It's a really, really effective strategy these days. And I know with this type of program, I would say you probably want to broaden your audience and then also have like downsell options for people who aren't ready to take that leap or who just aren't a fit for it.
yeah. Okay. So yeah. So then I just have to make sure I have a group where they'll allow male members in. So,
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Well, I mean, if you work with female coaches, I'm sure they would let you in.
mhm.
I can send you a list. I have a list of like over 200 Facebook groups that work really well for this. So I'll send you a
Oh,
list.
well, thank you.
Yeah, of
That
course.
was unexpected. So here's Allie giving extra value live. All right. No, that's very helpful. Okay. So I'll have to look into those groups, and then so create a Facebook group that I can send them to, because the ones right now are already, they've paid to be in those groups. So something else.
Yeah, I would have a free community of some sort where you can show up, do a live training once a month, launch your offer, sell your offer, post value in between, get people to engage in between. I mean, it's a really great way. You got to grow your audience, you got to nurture your audience, and you got to sell to your audience. And it's a great way to nurture and sell after growing it by driving people into it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was very helpful.
I'm glad it resonates.
It does. All right. So, yeah, that's good. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to flip it around, and Ali's going to experience energetic magic. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
All right, we are back. So we're going to get into the energetic magic section of the hour. And if you have any questions for Ali, just throw them in the chat and we'll make sure those get addressed. But right now, are you there, Ali? Because your picture's frozen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened. I think my video's on.
Okay. All right, so for your benefit and for the benefit of the people watching that have never seen this before, this is what's about to happen. Is we're going to talk about, similar to where you went with me, is what's the thing you're trying to do, or where's some place you feel that you're not moving with, a place that you might be stuck. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious beliefs. So whenever they don't, I'm going to let you know. So for instance, you may say, okay, my big thing this year is to quadruple members. We already doubled it. I want to quadruple it. And I might say, nope, you don't, because I can feel that inconsistency going on. So when that happens, we're going to dig down and we're going to look for where are the stories that are running in your subconscious that make that a bad idea. And it doesn't have to be about making more money. It could be in relationships. It could be in health. It could be in any area. But once we find out there's a story, then I'm going to let you know, okay, this is the story that's running around. Like for a very, very common thing I've had with people is they're just trying to get to that extra $100,000 a year. But when we start talking about it, something comes up like, well, if I make an extra $100,000 this year, I know people are going to start coming up and saying, hey, you're making a lot of money now. Can I have some? Can you invest in my business? And that causes anxiety for them. Your subconscious mind, its priority is to avoid negative emotional distress over physical circumstances. So in order to avoid that anxiety of what if people come up and ask you for money, it says, okay, let's just make sure you don't make the money. And so physically, you're like, why can't I make the money? You think you're doing something wrong in your sales, or you're not getting the right clients, or people are dropping out. And it all looks like it's just this physical thing that's going on that's real and it makes sense. But it's really this emotional avoidance I don't want to make that money because that's going to suck for me. So when we get the story, I'm going to say, okay, here's the story, Ali. It's better not to have the money so that you don't have to worry about people asking you for it. Are you willing to step out of that story? If you say yes and you mean it, and again, I can tell if you mean it or not, it's going to shift in that moment. We're actually rewiring your neural pathways. And when that happens, there's also a shift in energy. When energy shifts around me, I tend to yawn and cough. So that's going to happen for the next 15 minutes or so. I assume you've got an idea of what energy feels like when it shifts in you. So just allow that to happen. And if you hear me say, ow, it's because we've tapped into something that your subconscious is like, oh, hell no, we're not moving that. That's like either that defines who I am, or that defines me and my culture, or that'll rip me apart from my family or something. And those are usually beliefs that really keep you stuck. So we want to move that. So is that all clear?
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. All right. What would you like to work on?
Let's do that business growth one. I'm not sure if I can say quadruple. That seems like a lot of work, but let's say I'd like to say triple. 3 is a lucky number. Let's triple it by the end of the year.
Okay. So that's not coming up true. There's resistance in that. So, and then I could even see just from what you just said, quadruple seems like a lot of work. So is there more work the more money you make?
It doesn't have to be. With the right automation and delegation, it doesn't have to be. But my experience in the past has been that with delegation initially, there is more work, right? Training, hiring, onboarding, getting people to do the work. Even though it can save time in the long run, the idea of hiring more people to make the business more scalable on some level is daunting because it takes a lot initially.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. So I don't really feel that moving. So that's the story that you've been running, and of course you have evidence of that story in the past. But if you rely on that evidence to create your future, you're just stuck in that story. If you allow your future to have the story of, well, the bigger my business gets, the less work I have to do, then the elements around that will start to show up. Right. So even things like, well, we've been training these people, we're just recording their trainings, and the new people just go through the trainings, and then we only have to answer a couple of questions because it's all been done. Right. Or I have a team now that trains people. So I just say, let's expand the business and my team takes care of everything and I don't have to do any of the work. So, and that triggered something for you there. So let's start at the first one. Are you willing to step out of the story that the bigger the business gets, the more work you have to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have to be involved in all aspects of your business?
No.
See, that's not actually coming up true. And even if you're not, if that belief is running there, there's a little bit of anxiety attached. So the less you get involved in, the greater the anxiety comes. And so then your subconscious tries to counter that before it happens and just keeps you going at a certain level that feels comfortable and safe rather than just exploding. And what's amusing to me is doubling is not exploding for you. Like for most people, it's like, oh my God, that would be great. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to be involved in all areas of your business?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. And that's probably the biggest thing I struggle with because I do want to be involved. I love what I do. And at the same time, I know, I'm really glad you asked this because I know that I historically, I struggle with letting go of at least oversight, at least having a finger on the pulse,
Yeah.
But am I ready to step out of that? Yes.
Okay. Sort of. I like just when you were discussing it, I could feel the resistance coming up.
Yeah, there definitely is resistance because, like I said, historically, it's always been there. It's always been a feeling of like, even if I am delegating, I have to oversee or micromanage. And it could also come from a history of, some bad luck in hiring. I would say I've definitely hired the wrong people at different times in the business. And also historically, especially when I was first starting out, I always hired people overseas, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it did create more of a barrier. It created more of a cultural and language barrier that made it difficult to just completely let go of trust and let go of control over that aspect of the business that they were supposed to be taking over. Lately, I've been hiring more in the US, or at least like native English speakers, and it has actually made it a lot easier. Again, nothing like prejudiced, right? But it's just a matter of like ease and flow and the language and the cultural differences.
Yep. Oh, I completely understand it. With my my assistant is in the Philippines. I love her. She does an amazing job. But I have to bring in another assistant that is fluent in English for the next phase, and so that's my next step. But I completely understand when you're working with someone that oversees their issues that come up, especially even just time zone issues for work. So, but here's the thing. Oh, and before I say that, there's going to be a caveat here. It is thunderstorming like crazy outside. So if I drop off, it's because I lost power to the house. I'll try to get back on my phone, but like it's insane out there right now. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. An experience happens. You create a belief based on that experience, and then you start to create evidence of that belief so that you can be right and you can lock in, this is what it needs to happen. So if there was an experience, and it could have been one of the overseas assistants, that you decided, no, I need to be more in charge, I need to have my finger in these areas, or things can go wrong, then what ends up happening is you start hiring people that aren't what you want, so that they can screw up, they can be incompetent. So you could say, oh, see, I need to have my finger in every piece of this. And you don't realize you made that hire based on the belief, but now you're putting the evidence in front of you so you can look back and say, no, look here and here and here. Right? So, and it's all based on the story you decided to create. Right? So like an example I've got in my book is a little girl on a playground. Little boy runs up and hits her and then laughs and runs away. Now, we just know what happened, that he hit her, laughed, and ran away. We don't know what the story is. She doesn't know what the story is. It could be that he really likes her. He's trying to get her attention. It could be that they're playing tag. She didn't know it. He was trying to get her in the game. It could be that a bunch of kids dared him to go hit her just to see what would happen. Right? We don't know. But she decides, oh, boys don't like me. Right? So now she creates that belief from that one incident, and she starts going through her life with the belief that boys don't like me. And so whenever a boy treats her badly, she's like, see, boys don't like me. All right. If a boy treats her really well, she's like, what's he up to? Because I know boys don't like me. She doesn't take it to the other side. She's just like, I know there's something going on here. And if boys just don't treat her good or bad, then it's just background noise. So she only locks onto boys don't like me. When she gets into high school, she's attracted to guys that will turn her down because boys don't like me. There could be a guy that would be amazing for her. She's just got no attraction to him because boys don't like me. Right? And then when she gets into the workforce, she'll find a job with a misogynistic boss because boys don't like me. And she doesn't realize she's doing this all unconsciously, but now she looks back at the evidence. She's like, no, look at this and this and this and this and this. It's real. So when we change the story, all the evidence that you've created in the past becomes invalid because it was all created from that story. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to be involved in everything in your business or things will go wrong?
Yeah.
Will you feel needed if you're not involved in every part of your business?
Interesting question. Will I feel needed?
Yeah.
If I'm not involved?
If you're not involved, will you feel like you've got less value, that people don't need you if you don't have to be involved?
No, probably the opposite, actually. I think that the more value my business has on its own, where it can operate without me involved, the more valuable the business is, and therefore the higher my net worth, the higher my value.
So that's a monetary value, but a personal value. If you're working less in your business, do you feel you have as much value?
Same.
Okay, so the monetary was coming up true, the personal wasn't so much. So, okay, let me phrase it this way. Do you have to show how much value you have?
No, I mean, it's just a matter of like, to me, if I am less involved in business operations, my time is more freed up for things of higher value. If I can delegate tasks that are important, but maybe of less like meaning or purpose to me, then my value actually goes up because I'm able to put my attention on those things that are actually of higher value to me in a sole purpose sense, right? Not just in terms of the business itself.
So what if your business could operate completely without you?
I'd be thrilled. That'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing.
Okay. So, okay. Should your business operate without you?
If it can sustain itself, yes. I'd rather still be involved because I do, like I said, I love what I do.
Yep.
I'd love to be in a position where it doesn't need me, but I can be as involved or as uninvolved as I'd like to, if that makes sense. Like I make the decision, it's not completely necessary.
Okay. So that makes perfect sense. And what you're saying is amazing, but your subconscious is not quite aligned with that. And what's interesting is when I said if you're completely not involved, would that be, and you said that would be amazing, that came up true, but it feels like to get there from where you are, there's a block. Like it's like, as long as I know everything's fine, then I'll allow that to happen. But if I think there's a chance it won't happen, no, we're staying right here. And that's where you're creating, because your subconscious, if there's no guarantee, it doesn't want to move. Right. So are you willing to step out of the story that you will give up control only if you're guaranteed everything will go well?
Yeah. I feel like I should say like bless you or something, but you're not actually sneezing.
No, well, that's coughing. It's not actual sneezing. So, but I do this every day, and yeah, and yours is an interesting case because, like, yeah, there was no resistance whatsoever to being completely separate from your business, letting it run. That was like a high energy. That sounds great, but only if it's guaranteed. That's where it was for you. And this is impressive because most people aren't there. Most people, it's like, no, if I'm not there, that means I'm not valuable. People won't be able to see me contribute to the value. But you're not in that space. Your concern is the business might fall apart on the way to that. And so you have to be involved.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay. All right. How does that feel? Better, worse, the same, or different? No wrong answer here.
I mean, it feels like things I kind of already knew, but articulated really well. Yeah, it feels better to like have that clear of awareness around it for sure.
And, as a business owner, you get this, but sometimes it's so embedded and the fear is there that you don't allow it to happen. Is you've got to be willing, like the intention is, I'm going to build a business. It's going to get better. We're going to put more people in place until I don't have to be there. I will be because I love it, but I don't have to be, which means I can just run off for vacation wherever I want. And I know my business will be running fine when I get back. But you have to have that intention, but be willing for that. When you give more power over it, something screws up and it goes down for a bit, and you have to course correct, and then it gets even better, and something screws up and it goes down for a bit, and you course correct. If you're not willing to have those downfalls, again, the intention is not to, but if you're not willing to have them, allow them to happen, then you stop it. You put limitations on, you try to exert control, which actually stops growth in the business in the way you want it. So, and this is the thing that stops a lot of people. It's the intention is for the best outcome. The willingness is for any outcome, because you'll recover and get back to where you want. Okay. So are you willing to let your business go through whatever pains it needs to on your way to that success you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. That feels better. Yeah. Okay. How's that for you?
Solid. Really cool. Really cool.
Right. So that is energetic magic. This is what I give every guest a taste of when they come in. And it's interesting to see the reactions. It's like, some people are like, oh, he's coughing. I should say something.
Yeah, I felt like I should, say bless you, or do you need a glass of water?
No, I'm all good. This
Good.
is the job. I don't know why my body does that, but it doesn't really hurt me in any way, and I found it gives people an indication that things are shifting, so that they like the response. Once you get used to it, they're like, "Oh, right, he's coughing. This is a good thing," right? So, but I've known for people to have different responses when energy shifts, and a friend of mine, she used to burp when energy shifted. And she's like, this is the most ridiculous thing, because I'll be in classes and then I'll start burping, and it's embarrassing. And I think I'm annoying people. And I said, well, number one, if they're workshops on energy, everyone knows what's going on. They don't care. They're just like, oh, look, she's getting shifts. But she's like, no, I want it to change. And so one of our mentors said, well, just ask your body to process energy in a different way. She's like, I can do that? I said, yeah, just ask it. Your body's going to process in the way it wants to. That's a good alternative to what you're doing. And so she asked her body to do that. And the next time she was in a workshop, she was farting. She's like, you know what? Burping works. Let's go back to burping. Right?
That's hilarious. Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. So I'm at coughing. I'm good with coughing. We'll leave it here.
Yeah, I tend to get like a little shiver, like when you get a shiver down your spine, if you're listening to like really great music or something like that.
Yep.
That's the feeling I get oftentimes when something shifts.
Did you have any shivers?
Yeah, I had a couple. I actually also yawned a couple of times. It could just be that I'm tired. I have been a little low on sleep lately, but I did have a couple of yawns, shivers, and maybe one or two burps. Can't remember.
Nice. Okay. This is what I do with my guests.
Love it. Love it.
All right. So if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do it?
Social media, probably the easiest way. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm sure you'll have my links to my websites. We've got satva.io, aliturner.co. That rhymes kind of nicely. Easy to remember. Yeah, I would say social media, though. I'm always online, so I'll be around.
And do you have a Facebook group like you recommended for me?
Yes. Yeah, we have one at Satva and one for my coaching business. So I have two different groups that people can be a part of.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, she doesn't just coach. She does exactly what she does when she's coaching. She's walking the talk. And yeah, if you'd like to get in touch with Ali, you can get her through social media, get on Facebook, and and you've just seen she gives extra value. She cares about her clients, and she's looking for big success. And if you're getting a coach that herself is doubling in 90 days, think about what she can do for you. Right? So I would highly recommend you get in touch, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. The information's in the show notes, so just go there and and have some fun. See your business grow. She's been having amazing results, and your business doesn't double in 90 days unless you're doing something right.
It's true. We've been working hard at this, and obviously it happened to be about 90 days when it doubled, right? But that does come from many months, actually many years now of work and attention, dedication, and focus. But I will say that there are a couple of shifts we made at the start of the year that really made a big difference. So that's been a big thing we're focusing on, both for ourselves and for our clients in 2023.
Congrats on that. All right. So before we head out, Ali, do you have any final words of wisdom for our audience?
I would say just do it. I think so many people just hold themselves back. They think that they can't. I've been there too. It's like you think, how could I be that person who has that 7, 8, 9-figure business? How could I get to that stage? There's so many things I'd have to figure out. Can I do the branding? Can I design the website? Can I hire the right people overseas or in the US and Canada, where I live? It's like, that's the thing. There's so many things you can tell yourself you're not sure how to do, but there's also so many ways to find out how to do it. So just go out and find out how to do it, right? Learn, grow, become a better human, and you'll build the thing that you envision.
So you're saying I shouldn't study and study and study and make sure I know everything before I take action?
Exactly. I love to say, action takers are money makers, right? It's like if you don't take action, you're not going to move. You're just going to be standing still. So take action, move your feet, and just do the thing that you're scared to do, because it's on the other side of that fear. You're going to get everything you ever wanted.
Nice. I love it. All right. We are at the end of the show. Just a reminder that Project Joy is happening on the Breakthrough Network each morning, and tomorrow is Beyond 2D. Another wonderful episode's coming up, so tune into that. YouTube is Breakthrough Network, and we are heading out. Thank you so much, Ali, for being on the show, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the way you gifted to me, and obviously to the audience. If they were paying attention, they learned from our interaction. So have an amazing day, and we'll be back soon.
Thanks so much. Thank you all.